By Anonymous, what is the proper amount of hishtadlus to do for Shidduchim, and do you have any chizik that you can offer to singles in the parsha? I had a child who had yena machla, had a clean bill of health. But you understand, that puts you at a serious disadvantage. And he had a very long list of what he was looking for in a girl, a lot of things. I won't go into all the details because I don't like to give away everything because everyone already knows everything about my life. And you might know this from someplace else because I have no inner controls. So you may have heard me talk about this before, but I'm trying to be a little bit more mature. Anyway, there's a lot of things that were working against his, marketability when it came to Shidduchim. And so it wasn't always easy to find a girl, but he would go out and he'd say, no, she doesn't have this, she doesn't have that. She doesn't this, she's not that, whatever it is. So finally I said to this child, look, you have to do hishtadlus. And the child said to me, I am. I daven and I have bitachon. That's all you have to do. And sure enough, he found a girl, I guess now you know it was a son, who met all of the requirements that was on his list. And it was a friend of one of my daughters, so he didn't even have to go looking for her. It was delivered to the house. And I looked at this and I was nespoiled because he was not worried at any point about any hishtadlus, just daven for a shidduch and have bitachon. That's what you have to do. And people can get you crazy. I had a wonderful young lady who was a former student of mine. And she was working as a secretary for Partners in Torah. Basically, helping to arrange the shidduchim between the people who were going to learn and the people who wanted to learn. That's what she was doing. And she wasn't getting too many dates. And she calls me up and says, the Shadchanim said that boys, serious boys in learning don't want a girl who's in Kiruv. So should I quit my job? Now, let's be fair. She wasn't going out into town handing out flyers. She wasn't going to, code events. She was sitting in an office making arrangements. She said, should I quit my job? I said, are you helping to be Marbitz Torah in the world? She says, yes. I said, my God doesn't punish people who are doing his ratzon by telling them that they're not going to get married. I don't know whose God the Shadchanim pray to, but my God will not penalize you for doing the right thing. You can't be wrong by being right. Can't be. Now, none of my stories have endings. They're all Litvisher stories. This one actually have an ending. 6 months later, she met a very nice boy and got married. Baruch Hashem. But I had a girl who was a student of mine, and now she was getting up in years. She was 23, which in the frum community, it's already, ring the alarm bells. This is not a new thing. In the Gemara, it says, a father has an obligation to marry off his daughter, but, at some point when she becomes an old maid, she's out of his reshus, she has to take care of herself. That's 12 and a half. So you understand, being over the hill is not a new concept. You imagine the girl's already 13 and everyone's making Tehillim groups. But anyway, so she wasn't getting too many dates. So she says, the Shadchanim told me I don't dress right. I said, you dress very appropriately. She goes, I know, that's what they think is the problem. She dressed a little tighter, a little looser, a little So I told him, but I want a Ben Torah. He goes, yeah, if you want to get a Ben Torah, that's what you got to do. And she said, if the only way I can get married is to compromise my tznius, I would rather not get married. She also got married to a nice guy, a flip out, actually, modern Orthodox flip out, So, and Baruch Hashem, happily married with children. So, but the point is that what do I do? What's the correct hishtadlus? You daven, and you have bitochen, and do what you're supposed to do. And when people tell you you have to do this skula and that skula, and say nishmas 40 times, and walk in the middle of the street and hop on one foot and cluck like a chicken, if you have bitochen and you daven, there's a shul in Tzfas where there's a chair, where if you sit in this chair, you're going to have a baby. When I have the schus to go to South Africa and I go to Joburg, so I stay with the Zolbergs, who are just the finest, some of the finest people in the entire world. Anyway, so I come there once and all their kids are big, except for this one little boy who's running around. And I said, oh, that's interesting, because yes, we went to Tzfas and I told my husband I'm going to sit in the chair. And sure enough, I had a baby. So Dovid Kaplan, who's of course a very famous speaker and educator, he tells the story. He says that him and his wife weren't having children, and they went to Tzfas. And his wife said, should I sit in the chair? And Reb Dovid said, don't sit in the chair, and in that schus you'll have a baby. So it's a Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's the bitochen, it's the tefillah. That's what you have to do.